Hello friends, welcome to Credence IS Weekly Current Affairs. In this video, we are going to discuss about the various current issues which have been happened in the third week of June. So moving on to the various events which have occurred in the third week of June, we start with the new Lokayukta appointment. The Karnataka state government has appointed Justice B.S. Patil as the new Lokayukta of Karnataka state. So earlier the Justice B.S. Patil was serving as Upalokayukta itself in the Karnataka Lokayukta. He has been elevated to the Lokayukta post. So if you look at the history of Karnataka Lokayukta, it has been established in 1984 with the Act of Karnataka Lokayukta Act of 1984, and Karnataka, credit goes to the Karnataka, or what we call it as one of the landmark decisions which the state has taken at that time was Karnataka was one among the prominent states which has brought in the Karnataka Lokayukta to act as a grievance redressal mechanism, where it wanted to look into the corruption related issues and to bring in what we call it as various briberies, corruption related incidents in the various government functioning to address those issues. It is actually based on the Administrative Reforms Commission recommendation that it was left to the individual state governments to establish this grievance redressal mechanism. So Karnataka was the forefront in that, and it has established this institute much earlier than the various states which have brought in the Karnataka Lokayukta. So according to the Karnataka Lokayukta Act, there is a provision for a Lokayukta and one or two Upalokayuktas who will assist the Lokayukta in discharging their duties. With regard to the appointment, the Karnataka Lokayukta is appointed by the governor. So now with the passage of the Karnataka Lokpal bill, now the structure has been streamlined. Earlier it was left to the individual states to establish their own individual grievance redressal mechanisms. So in this procedure, according to the act, the governor will appoint the Lokayuktas and Upalokayuktas based on the recommendation made by the chief minister, who heads the council. That council consists of chief minister as the chairperson, and he takes the opinion of chief justice of the concerned high court, of the Karnataka High Court. Apart from that, the speaker of the legislative assembly, chairman of the legislative council, leaders of both the lower house and upper house are the part of the group on which the decision will be taken, and based on that it will be sent to the governor to appoint. So Lokayukta must be the chief justice of the high court or a judge of a supreme court, and Upalokayukta should need to be a judge of a high court. The term for the Lokayukta and Upalokayukta is 5 years. Then with regard to removal, when it comes to the removal, the Lokayukta or Upalokayuktas can resign by giving their resignation letters to the governor, or they can be removed according to the section provided in the Karnataka Lokayukta Act because of the various derelictions in their performance of their duties, which has been mentioned detailed in the Karnataka Lokayukta Act. According to that act, the assembly has to pass the resolution with a 2/3 majority of the members present, and with the simple majority of the total members of the house present, and it has to be passed, and based on that they can be removed based on the Judges Inquiry Act of 1968. Based on the provisions which have been given in the Judges Inquiry Act of 1968, the removal can be initiated. We can see that in the history of Karnataka. So the earlier Karnataka Lokayukta was supposed to be removed with this procedure. Because he rendered his resignation, that process has been stopped. So this is with regard to the various details with regard to Karnataka Lokayukta. But recently the government has amended the Karnataka Lokayukta Act, and it has curtailed the powers of the Karnataka Lokayukta Act, and it has been now given to the new body called as Anti-Corruption Bureau. Now the Karnataka Lokayukta has very little power to handle the cases related to the corruption and bribery. So this is what we understood with regard to Karnataka Lokayukta, the new appointment. You need to remember the name. Then moving on to the next aspect, it is regarding to the venture capital investment. Why it is in news? A report given by Global Setup Genome Report, according to it, the Bangalore is the fifth among the globe with it in terms of attracting the venture capital. So it again justifies or showcases Bangalore as the tech capital of India, and as well as the one of the more prominent tech capital cities among the globe. So it has attracted the investment of worth rupees $7.5 billion in the year 2022, in the first half of 2022, and it has bypassed or surpassed the major tech cities of the Asia such as Singapore and Tokyo. So this shows that Bangalore is among the most emerging tech capitals, and it is attracting various investments which can contribute not to the growth of the economy also, but creation of employment opportunities and diversification of the employment. So the next is it regard to the new scheme, that is the one team money scheme. It is not a new scheme as such, it was earlier there, but it was suspended during the pandemic. During the pandemic times, it has been suspended. What is this one time money scheme? It is a scheme of the government of Karnataka which is being implemented through the BBMP, where it will provide financial assistance of rupees 5 lakhs to the persons belonging to the SC, ST, OBC, minority to construct their own houses if they have their own land. If the persons have their own land and they belong to the weaker section of the society, and which to provide them the financial assistance, the government is providing the 5 lakhs. So this program has now the government has decided to re-initiate it and start providing the financial assistance for construction of the dwelling units. Moving on to the next issue, it is regarding to the Karnataka Assembly has in the recent time has completed 70 years. July 18th, 1958 forms the first gathering or first assembly of the Karnataka state, Karnataka Legislative Assembly. In that time it was used to called as Mysore Legislative Assembly after the 1952 general elections. So we need to look into the various details with regard to the first general assembly which has been started in the in Mysore. It was used to called as the Mysore state at that time. So the first sitting was happened in the present High Court setup. So it is called as Athara Kacheri. So in the Assembly Hall, the first gathering or first session of our Karnataka State Legislative Assembly happened. The first sitting has 100 members. So 99 are elected and 1 is nominated. So 1 is the nominated person. And if you look at the history of the Mysore princely state is the unique in the history of India, for that because of it is the first state to establish the representative assembly, the first democratic institution establishment through the mode of what we cannot be termed as elections, but in the form of elections were introduced for the first time by the Mysore state way back in 1881 itself. So our institution traces its roots to this year. Based on that, the various reforms or various changes which have been happened during the princely rule after the left of the British, it has got formalized. V. Venkatappa became the interim speaker, where his role was to give oath to the newly elected members. Then in the next aspect, the speaker was elected. H. Siddhaya was elected as the speaker. So notable thing among this is Shantavir Gopal Gaudru or Shantavir Gopal Gowda was also a contestant for the speaker. However, he was defeated. And the Siddhaya, which has been represented by the Congress party, has won the election. And the chief minister at that time was K. Hanumantayya or Kengal Hanumantayya. Okay, he is also the leader of the house and also the finance minister. So this is what we need to understand. And the nominated person was Thomas Sidney. The nominated person at that time was the Thomas Sidney. As of now, we have 224 plus 1, right? So this is the present strength of our legislative assembly. Apart from this, we had also 3 women representatives in the assembly. The they are Lakshmi Devi, Ramanna, Siddhamma B and Subbamma BL. So these three women representatives were also the part of our first assembly. Then moving on to the next aspect, this is One Health program. This is the unique program of Union government which has been carried out under the Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, and Karnataka has been selected as one of the states to introduce this scheme on a pilot basis. Where what is the major idea here? You can see that they wanted to have a holistic concept of health. They want to have a holistic health concept where it is a multisectoral approach where they focus on the human, animal and environment. So they are focusing both on environmental health, animal health and human health. Just by focusing on the human health, it may lead to various biological disasters. The best example is the COVID. It is a zoonotic disease which has spread from the animal to the human beings and has created a greatest disaster that the mankind has seen in the 21st century. So in order to address those type of disasters or biological causes, what we need to have is to address the health in a holistic manner, focusing both on environment health, animal health as well as the human health. So with this we can keep on track of various zoonotic diseases, what is the health status of various livestock, various birds, animals and also the health of environment in which we are also part of. So human has to address all these issues in a holistic manner, so that the health related concept should not be restricted entirely to the mankind or humankind. It should involve both the environment as well as the species, that is the flora and fauna. To address this issue, the government has brought in a program called as One Health. On a pilot basis, Karnataka has been selected as a state in which the union government is implementing this scheme. So moving on to the next aspect, it is the new Jain Pilgrimage Center. So new Jain Pilgrimage Center has been established in Karnataka at a place called Jainaragutti near Adagur in Hassan Taluk. The already existing pilgrimage center is the center which has been already there in the Chandrayapatna Taluk, okay, Shravana Belagula, where do we have a single monolithic rock of Gomateshwara. So here in this center, Muni Suvartanatha, the 20th Tirthankara of Jainism, the statue of the Muni Suvartanatha will be installed, and it will act as a second pilgrimage center for the Jains in the Hassan Taluk. So as we all know, okay, it is very this place is very much near to the Beluru and Halebeedu, which is considered as the centers of the capital centers for the Hoysala kingdoms, and Hoysalars were one of the kingdom which has patronized the Jainism. The great king Vishnuvardhana was also converted to Jain. He was also a follower, means even though he has converted to the Vedic religion, the Jainism patronage was being given by the Hoysalas. So with this we can say that the second pilgrimage center is coming up at the Hassan Taluk. You need to remember this name. Then moving on to the next topic, it is regarding to the International Yoga Day. So we will culminate the two topics here. So the Prime Minister of India has visited Bangalore, and he was wanted to be a part of International Yoga Day celebration, where he performed some yoga celebration in Mysore. Before that he came to Bangalore, and he was a part of various foundation laying ceremonies where he made various inaugurations to carry out various infrastructural development projects. First we will look into the projects in which are the important projects which has been he laid down for the construction or development aspect. The first is the Brain Research Center at Indian Institute of Science has been started to Prime Minister has laid down the what we call it as the stone for the establishment of Brain Research Center. Then Bagachi Parthasarathi Multi-Speciality Hospital. We have already discussed in detail what it is, what are the philanthropists have done, what it focus on in the previous video. If you want, you can go to the previous video and understand about this initiative that the government has taken with help from the philanthropist at the Indian Institute of Science. And Bangalore Academy for here he talked about the School of Economics. So it is modeled on the line of London School of Economics, which has been also inaugurated in the Bangalore University campus. Then he has also opened up a technology hubs. These are the innovative models of ITIs, Indian training institutes, so industrial training institutes, where they have been remodeled into technological hubs with the improvement in the infrastructure capability, equipment facility and state of the art infrastructures have been developed under this, so that the skill of a particular person can be enhanced, and they are given a vocational training so that they can be absorbed in the various industries, so that the employment is addressed as well as the skill can be upgraded. Next is the Saram Vishweshwara railway station at Bayappanhalli. It is also a landmark in a project where it is the first railway station in the India which is being constructed with the state of the art infrastructure facilities. The entire railway station is entirely air conditioned and it has all the facilities which a modern airport can have. So with this we can say that the railways are also upgrading their infrastructure facilities, and Bangalore is a part of a historical event where that unique initiative has been developed for the first time in India, was used to be the Saram Vishweshwara railway station at the Bayappanhalli. After laying down the foundation, he participated in the International Yoga Day. So what is the unique about this International Yoga Day in this year is, so this yoga celebration is happening at the time of Azadi Ke Amrut Mahotsav, that is 75 years of our India's independence, and yoga has been so showcasing of the yoga has been performed at various 75 cultural heritage sites. So Modi the Prime Minister has chosen the Mysore Palace as a place, and he performed the yoga in front of the Mysore Palace. The various places such as Agra Fort maybe, so, then various other historical places have been selected, okay, such as Badami, Ayuhale. So there also the various yogic celebrations have developed across the 75 cultural heritage sites. Of that, the Mysore is also one among them. The theme of this International Yoga Day was Yoga for Humanity. So this was the theme of this year's International Yoga Day, and they have initiated a startup yoga challenge where startups which focus on development or bringing some improvement or value addition to the yoga have been encouraged, so that the startups working on this field will get some assistance. For that they have started the startup yoga challenge. So if you look at the history from 2014 onwards, United Nations General Assembly has accepted the resolution, and they have passed the resolution declaring 21st June as an International Yoga Day. From 2014 onwards, every June 21st is celebrated as the Yoga Day, International Yoga Day. Then the government of Karnataka has decided to bring in new aerospace and defense policy. The 5-year policy will be of a period of 2022 and 27. So the detailed report has not yet been out. They are in the process of making a aerospace policy. Major aspect, focus of this policy will be, they want to develop 5 aerospace and defense hubs in Karnataka, especially in Bangalore, Belgavi, Mysore, Tumkur and Chamarajanagar. The whole intention of aerospace and defense policy is to make Karnataka state as a manufacturing hub, and to attract investment and to create various employment opportunities. So the Karnataka state as a historically has been a home of HAL, even the various defense establishments, various space establishments starting from ISRO and various National Aeronautics Limited, all have their base in Bangalore. So Bangalore's contribution, Karnataka's and Bangalore's contribution towards the aerospace and defense for the India's is phenomenal with regard to its contribution is concerned. To carry forward that rule, to carry forward that legacy, the government is trying to bring in a separate aerospace and defense policy, and to develop the state and to make the state as a hub for manufacturing hub, and to develop maintenance, repair and operation facilities at these defense hubs. So these are the various events or happenings which have happened in the third week of June with regard to Karnataka state. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching this video.